Well, in this video, we're going to once again visit some stories and revisit some stories related to the infamous, the plan to force us out, because it's still something that's happening. It's still something that I'm going to keep talking about. We already know what's going on, obviously. I mean, it almost seems like the Southern Pine Beetles may even be part of the plan. But this story I'm going to talk about is about Elmont and a senior housing facility there that unfortunately caught fire. And it's all very, very suspicious that it seems like they don't want the senior housing. So this is senior housing that's been closed for a while. So before I play the article on this fire, we're going to Google the original. So it's 1888 Foster Meadow Lane. And we're going to go to news. And let's see, go to News 12 here and find an old story about this. All right, this is a story. We're going to play the old story first. News 12 has been covering this. But seniors are being kept from their house here. This has been going on for a while now. Blakeman obviously doesn't care about the people here. And we're going to play this video for you. It's been a neglected property, and it's obvious they're trying to force the seniors out. It's obvious what's going on. So we're going to play this story. This is the first story in relation to this complex here.
Well, several Nassau seniors are pleading for help in Elmont. Their calls coming 1 year since they were forced out of their homes during a storm.
So they were forced out of their home a year ago. So it was September 2023 they were forced out of their home after a storm.
And tonight they are calling on the county to step up.
It is really deplorable that we are bottom line homeless.
I've been living in shelter, and believe me, you don't want to live there. And my brother's sleeping in the car.
These Nassau seniors say they can hardly
This is the way we treat our seniors in Long Island.
believe they are still begging and pleading to go back home 1 year after being evacuated from 1888 Foster Meadow Lane in Elmont. Several feet of water flooded the co-op's basement and multiple apartments.
My mom, in July, she got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, stage 4. And all that we want is for her to be able to come back to the building.
Residents rallied today with state and local leaders. They want County Executive
Bruce
Blakeman to drop the lawsuit
He's all
he
part of the
filed
plan to
last year
force us
against
out.
the building's management company. As we've reported, the lawsuit claimed the company has ignored multiple requests to make necessary repairs.
I have been advising Bruce Blakeman, the county executive, to drop the lawsuit against these seniors, these residents. What people didn't realize is that when he initiated that lawsuit, he was suing these seniors.
Yep.
Residents also say flooding problems and water issues in the building go back years.
The building can be fixed many times, but they need to fix the sewage.
One resident giving News 12 a first-hand look at what they say is extensive damage from repeated water issues. As we reported,
this is
after
the way we treat our
Storm
seniors.
Ida in 2021, this co-op was condemned by the town of Hempstead, and residents couldn't go home for weeks.
It's just problem after problem after problem. For all of us, it's very difficult to
Not
believe.
getting these people other homes. That's just despicable. Why aren't you getting these people other homes?
Anything.
This is past ridiculous. That we can get help, and that's what we need. We need help.
Now, we reached out to the Nassau County Executive's Office for comment.
He doesn't care.
And a spokesperson tells us in a statement, quote, the county initiated litigation against the managing agent in order to protect the residents of the co-op. That litigation is pending, and no further comment will be made at this time.
So this is the story from back in September. Now let's show you the latest thing that happened there. There was a fire. The whole place burned down. And now those people truly are homeless because they can't even go back. The building is destroyed in a fire.
Into this devastating fire in Elmont. Now, we told you that those flames broke out early this morning at the building that many seniors once called home.
Yep.
News 12's Carmen Grant is in Elmont,
pretty much
where
told
some of
them
the
to shut
former
up and go live
residents
in
are
New Jersey.
reacting to the damage.
Yep.
This is horrible.
Carolina Mellegrone and her 84-year-old father are devastated. Their home at 1888 Foster Meadow Lane in Elmont has been destroyed.
It's gone. My parents, some of my parents' stuff.
A massive fire broke out early Saturday morning, gutting the entire condominium that once housed many seniors. This resident's mother also lived there.
We don't even know where we're at right now. Now the building, in addition to 2 floods, there's a fire.
As News 12 previously reported, dozens of seniors were evacuated from the building last year due to ongoing flooding issues
is the way
and
Nassau
other
County
quality of life concerns. The building has been vacant ever since. The Nassau County Fire Marshals and Arson Bomb Squad are now investigating the cause of.
Yeah, it could be criminal in nature because they're trying to send a message. They're trying to tell the seniors, shut up and go live in New Jersey.
This fire.
Upon arriving on scene, there was already heavy fire presenting from different areas of the building. Such heavy fire that they couldn't make entry.
Over a dozen fire departments from neighboring communities responded to this fire, bringing over 200 firefighters to the scene. Many in the community telling us the building has had its share of problems. Nassau County filed a lawsuit against the building's management company, claiming it ignored necessary repairs. Meanwhile, community leaders say the fire is a major setback in getting displaced residents back into their homes.
Yeah, they're
This
gonna
is a catastrophe, a complete devastation of the property. We're asking for state, county intervention, even federal
Yeah, the state isn't doing anything.
intervention.
In Elmont, Carmen
doing
Grant,
anything to help
News
those
12 Long
people.
Island.
And the Hempstead Building Department is also looking into whether that structure needs to be demolished.
So there you go. This is it's going to have to be demolished. It's totally gone. It's horrible. Just horrible. Horrible. Where's the outrage from the county executive? He doesn't care. They're only looking out for the snobs. It's obvious. It's obvious. This is the way we treat senior citizens and people with disabilities on Long Island. It's totally unbelievable, but not at all surprising. So the next story I'm going to play for you, and just to show you where this is, by the way, Foster Meadow Lane. Just to show you where this is on the maps. I'll show you where it is. And they were moved, I believe a lot of the seniors were forced to I don't know where they went. A lot of them homeless. This is the way we treat people. This is, I believe this is the complex right here. This is it right here. This is it right here. And you can see this was in November 2020 that they took this street view. There's just a pile of trash here. This is the way we treat people. Oh, it's Elmont, so we don't care. I guess there's some more affordable housing over here. But, this is the way they treat people. It's unbelievable. It truly, truly is. It truly, truly is. And so we're going to go to the next story now, involving a man that was very violently robbed. He was disabled and violently robbed in Deer Park of his car. And unfortunately, as you'll see in the follow-up story, he unfortunately passed away due to his injuries.
Is critically injured after relatives say he was beaten in a carjacking.
Yeah, News 12's Kevin BC is outside South Shore University Hospital in Bayshore right now, where the victim is being treated.
Yeah, Kevin, what's the latest on this man's condition tonight?
Yeah, Joe, he's in pretty rough shape right now. So I spoke with that victim's brother
it was
just a
obvious
little
he wasn't
while
gonna
ago, and he
survive,
told me
sadly.
the victim is in a coma and on a ventilator. And this man was already disabled prior to the attack. Now he's inside this hospital in critical condition.
They stomped him, left him for dead.
It's obvious. This is just a hateful crime at this point.
Robbed him, took everything that he had, and just left him there to die.
This man, who didn't want to be identified, says his
These are the kind of people we have on Long Island.
65-year-old brother Donald is barely clinging to life after he was brutally attacked by two people who stole his car. Donald is missing one leg and uses a wheelchair to get around.
How can you do that to somebody who's disabled? These thugs have no conscience at all.
One hurdle after another, and he was trying just to get along with his life when these people did this to him.
It happened at around 8:30 last night on Brook Avenue in Deer Park,
West middle of the
right
island.
outside the townhouse complex where Donald lives. Neighbor Jocelyn Grant says she saw emergency workers taking him away.
Oh, God, that's so sad. He didn't look too good when he left to go to the hospital last night.
At this point, it's not clear who was behind the attack or if the victim was targeted. Police are investigating.
It's really surreal. I just hope they catch him, and I hope they rot.
Just awful, and the family tells me the victim tragically lost his wife about 20 years ago in a car crash. He has a daughter and grandchildren, and Antoinette and Joe, so far, no arrests have been.
So no arrests have been made. That was the last story on it. Now the news story that we have on it, gotta find it here. It says here, the victim has died. And of course, they barely covered it. I mean, they should have covered it again properly. You know, how come when some student from Massapequa dies, you have like 7 stories on it, but yet, no, we don't care about this. Oh, he's disabled. He's from Deer Park. We don't care. We covered it once and that's it. We're going to barely cover it now.
Relatives say was carjacked and beaten in Deer Park has died. That's according to the brother of the 65-year-old man who we're told was named Donald.
So now these thugs are going to be charged with murder.
As we reported, police say Donald was attacked by 2 people outside his Deer Park townhouse complex Wednesday night. Police say the men then stole Donald's car. So far, no arrests have been made.
No arrests still. So we'll show you where this happened. Brook Commons Way and Brook Avenue. So let's go out from the let's take a look and show you where this is in Deer Park. And not at all surprised that it happened in this area, because it's not the best of areas of Deer Park. So Commons Avenue, Brook, it is over here. It's almost in Baywood. It's over here. Here's Brook Avenue. And this is where Brookview Commons. I mean, where's the security in that place? There's no security. A man is beaten to death and nobody stops it. I mean, but again, sorry, senior, we can't live in a nice area. You got to live in an area like this. Sorry, this is an area that has crime problems. Sorry, you can't live in a nice little enclave like Babylon. You're not allowed to. So, yeah, let's go to the, so it's just really unfortunate. It's just another example of the hate crimes that we go on Long Island. Let's go to the next news story. I think it's, let's see, it's somewhere over here. Where is it? It was in one of these. Let me find it. Somehow it just disappeared. I know I had it up here. This has to do with West Islip, and for some reason the story just disappeared on here. I had it, and now it just disappeared. Oh, come on, News 12. Really? You love pulling this crap, don't you? It's about West Islip. All right, well, I guess I'll have to Google it, because News 12 decided to update the page and actually yank the story down, or my eyes are just skipping over the story. So here we go. So racist incident. This is the kind of hate you get on Long Island.
The alleged use of racial slurs by students
West Islip is a lily white, little preppy little enclave.
West Islip.
Yeah, the school superintendent now acknowledging inappropriate remarks that were directed at basketball players from another district.
News 12's Kevin Vesey is in West Islip right now. And Kevin, what else did the superintendent have to say?
Yeah, so Joe, the West Islip school superintendent, wrote a pretty long letter to the school community earlier this week. And in that letter, he condemned what happened. He also
I love how they condemn it, but, you know, behind the scenes, they're racists. There's a big Trump area. They don't want anyone who's different than them in their area. It's just like Babylon. It's the same kind of thing. We're in a little bubble. We want to keep it that way. We all know what that means.
That the students who were involved in that alleged incident have now been identified.
That is sad. It makes me very sad.
Roberta Vasquez from Medford was heartbroken when she learned basketball players from Patchogue-Medford High School were targeted because of their race by students from West Islip High School.
We don't want any situation like that, we have enough with everything else going on in the world.
The West Islip school superintendent now acknowledging the incident, which happened after a basketball game between the two schools Friday night. He wrote a letter to the community earlier this week, which said, a few of our high school students who attended the event approached the Patchogue-Medford team bus in vehicles and verbally taunted the team, which included some highly inappropriate racial remarks.
You could never defend those comments.
News 12 first told you about the incident on Saturday. At the time, the West Islip district was still investigating. But now the school superintendent says all involved students have been identified and steps have been initiated by the district to hold them accountable for their actions.
I'm glad it's taken care of, and I'm still upset to know that happened.
Now, that letter did not specify what steps will be taken in order to hold those students accountable. Meanwhile, the West Islip School Board will hold a meeting tomorrow night, though, Joe, it's still not clear if the incident will be discussed at that.
So, it's just another preppy, lily white enclave full of a certain demographic kind of people that, obviously this is what happens. This is what happens when you have that. They're just preppy white snobs. And again, they want to just pick on anyone who doesn't look just like them. This is what's become of Long Island. The only areas that matter are areas full of people like that. But if you're different, well, you're not going to be respected, and you're not going to be allowed to live there. And you have to deal with all the problems in the middle, like yours truly and other people that have it even way worse than me. So let's go to the next story. I'm going to have to pause the video for a second. So the next story I have for you, unfortunately, it's on Newsday, and I don't think I was able to save this story. So this is an affordable housing complex. It is going to be sold. Yeah, it's not going to, and I don't think I have the article in here. This is another thing about Long Island that's ridiculous. You can't even read the local freaking paper for free. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, in Jersey, I can read the local paper for free, but no, not here. No, I got to deal with this freaking paywall. So I guess that's another part of the plan there. But the Hardscrabble Apartments is an affordable apartment complex. And, of course, only Newsday has an article on it. Nobody else does. But it's being sold to a non-profit, and the apartments are going to be renovated. I don't have the article here. We get a face look, new owner. It's for low-income seniors. So they're going to renovate it because it was built in the 80s, and this whole thing just seems fishy to me. Honestly, I think they're going to force them out too. It's just Farmingdale's doing well. We got to make room for more preppy snobs to move in. Get rid of the seniors and the disabled. I'm not saying the article says that's not going to happen, but I don't believe it. I did read the article when I was at the library, but I don't think I have a copy of it. I don't think I downloaded it. So unfortunately, I cannot read the article for you. But you have the link in. If you know how to break Newsday's paywall, you can read it. I don't. So the next story that we talk about, another story involving, this one's involving congestion pricing. It's just another part of the plan to force people out of New York.
Pricing kicks in, and Manhattan drivers will be charged more to go below 60th Street. Each Monday leading up to the new toll, we are taking a look at how different communities are reacting or preparing. Now, for some businesses in Lower Manhattan who say they rely on a lot of foot traffic, they are worried that the car fee will keep many of their customers away. Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu has a look.
Inside the walls of Huayuan in Chinatown lies decades of memories.
People have had weddings here. People have had funerals, bar mitzvahs, get-togethers, happy occasions, sad occasions.
This business has been in James Tang's family since the 60s, through 9/11, Hurricane Sandy, and the pandemic. But Tang and other business owners fear congestion pricing will pose yet another threat to their neighborhood. They fear their clientele, tourists and people who travel from other parts of the city, will avoid coming into the congestion relief zone south of 60th Street.
A lot of folks come here from out of town from all over the world. They don't know how our subways work. They take Ubers
When
here,
they're afraid
they
to
take
take the
taxis
subway
here,
'cause
they
of all
get
the crime
dropped off
going on in there.
at the gateway to Chinatown, and then they walk around this neighborhood on foot, exploring the mom and pops places, exploring the restaurants, venturing into Little Italy.
Susan Lee is the president of a grassroots organization called New Yorkers Against the Congestion Pricing Tax. The group has filed a class action lawsuit saying the plan fails to take into account the negative economic and environmental impacts on neighborhoods on the Lower East Side.
Yeah, they don't care.
Lee says the plan will do little to help the
plan.
area struggling to bounce back from the pandemic.
Exactly.
Right now, the vacancy rate in New York is at 11%.
So the plan, the key word here is the plan.
Manhattan is at 14%. Chinatown is at 20%. And you look at the top 20 neighborhoods with the highest vacancy rate, 10 of them are in the central business district. 5 of them are in Lower Manhattan.
But the MTA says the vast majority of people who go to areas like Chinatown use public transportation, and the traffic relief will only help pedestrians navigate the area. It also says studies show traffic ends up costing businesses more money.
So if you own a business and you need to drive from point A to point B, you are in fact
You look
sitting
like
in traffic,
somebody with a certain
wasting
demographic.
time, and oftentimes labor is the most expensive part of a business's budget.
Catherine Freed, a former New York City councilwoman and state Supreme Court judge, is a plaintiff on this lawsuit. She says ultimately the residents of Chinatown and other Lower East Side neighbors will feel it in their wallets.
Because they can't afford to pay higher amounts for their food or services or deliveries, because trucks are going to get charged a lot more money. And
Exactly, and that price is going to get passed on to the businesses, which is going to get passed on to the consumer, which is going to put a lot more businesses out and force more people out of New York, including business owners.
they get charged every time they come into the zone, unlike cars that only get charged once. It's about the fact that your cost of living is going up, and the only sin you've committed is that you live in a zone that they decided was a central business zone.
In Chinatown, Janice Yu, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
So there you go.
Have questions?
This is just another part of this multifaceted plan to drive us out of New York. And you have all the crime. You have the crime. We went over crime. We went over housing being destroyed and being neglected. We went over congestion pricing. We went over hate crimes against people of color. All this stuff is designed to drive us out. If you're not a certain type of person, a certain demographic, we all know the demographic that you have to be if you want to matter here in New York. If you're not that white finance professional, well, sorry, you're not welcome here. And that's the message that has been sent to us, obviously. And that is just another part of the plan. And talking about it, yeah, I feel upset. I feel like my stomach is now upset. So I better stop the video now. Thank you for watching.